And hello, we're back. It's 2021. We left everyone at home for a bit of a break and we're back on Adobe Live. Super excited to get this started again. I hope you all had a lovely break. Let us know in the chat how it was, if you survived without this dose of creativity, watch some replays. But we're so happy and ready to go for the new year. I don't know about you, Maddy and Rufus, but I missed everyone.
Yeah, this is 2020.2, you know?
Yeah.
Second attempt.
We'll give it another try.
Yes.
Exactly.
The chat is so involved already.
I can see everyone in there.
Who do we have?
Kirsty is here. And, whoa, Keith, Steve. Whoa, the whole gang is
Sandrine.
here. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. It's so good to be back. I don't know about you, but I definitely lost the day of the week and the date in that middle of, you know, between Christmas and New Year. And I became one with the couch. So,
you know, I had moments during the break where I woke up and I thought, oh no, we have a stream. Did I miss something? And it just became so, you know, in us, and we're living and breathing Adobe Live that we missed it that much. And I hope everyone did as well.
That's a Stockholm syndrome kicking in.
You're like, you know, I need help.
No. And do you know what? I don't know about you as well, but I kept watching back the Christmas stream, the one that we did just before Christmas. I laughed so much. And I still, if I look back, I still laugh. Like, Tim put together some really funny videos. If any of you missed it, you should go back and see it. Of just funny moments, right, of last year. They creased me out. Very funny.
It just made me realize how much we achieved in just a year, right? And there was those funny moments, but so much creativity, and it's so good to be back and create more of this, right? What was the highlight for everyone at home as well? Let us know what you're looking forward to this year. I'm keen to hear in the chat what we can talk about today. We're here to kind of launch this and, you know, favorite faces from the stream right here. And of course, a big thank you to Tim, who put that together right before the holiday and is with us again. You'll see him. And of course, we'll have the German and French streams still going this year. So we're still going to be around. Any excitement from the chat? Any highlights we want to pull out? I'm not checking today.
That's like this last year at this time, we only had the German stream, and that was once a month. I would go to Munich, and together with Chan, we would stream in German. And then this whole thing happened, and we moved to a schedule of daily streams for Germany and launched the UK streams and the French streams. And all of this happened so quickly that, you know, I'm still in awe and amazement to, you know, to what, like you said, Emma, like what you guys have achieved with that. You know, it's unbelievable. And of course, all of this would be impossible without, you know, the people here in the chat, watching us, asking us questions, and interacting with us. And this is exactly why we're here for.
Yeah, it's so good to see on either Discord or Instagram some of the projects that everybody has been doing, whether there's been a masterclass and people have participated in, I know the XD one was really big, and even some of the drawings, like when Rachel Presky came in and did some of the motion in fresco and some of the hand-drawn things, and I could see people's work coming through, and it's so good to see people trying new things and but us all doing it together. And that's all kind of, you know, I made so many mistakes doing it, but it's so good knowing that I'm not doing it on my own. So yeah, it's so good.
And of course, we had the festive challenge right before the break as well, which meant everyone got involved and created work around light and positivity. And I think that was just such a nice touch to end the year. And
Tony is in the chat as well. So
Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, you should be right here with us as well, like in this trio here, like
in this little band. Tony has a thing with band names and hats and all of that. So, we're definitely missing him. And we were talking about this, and Tony's going to be back this Wednesday, actually, everyone, so get excited, with Sophia. And I had a bit of a chat with Sophia and Tony last week on which hats they were going to pick. So we're still the same. We're going to be around, but with maybe a bit of a new format. So we'll talk about the schedule in a bit. But first, what are we looking forward to this year? What's the goal? What's the challenge? How is 2021 going to be a bit better than last year? And, what are we looking forward to?
Well, for me, I think, I'm looking forward to getting into more apps. I spend most of my day-to-day in Rush, Premiere Pro, Audition, and I'm trying to draw more in Fresco in the evenings. So that's something that I'm getting into a little bit more this year. And I'm still yet to try Illustrator on the iPad. Haven't done it yet. So that for me is kind of be my yearly goal, to embrace a new app and get stuck in. How about you?
Very nice. I am going for beyond app, just reading a lot more. That's been one from last year. I feel like every day was a bit of a survival mode, just kind of setting time off as well. I'm already set some time off for this Wednesday, actually, just to reset. And I think we all got to know ourselves a little bit better last year and how we react to some of the challenges and uncertainty in the world. And it is an uncertain time in so many ways. So taking time off has been a really big one. I realized by the end of the year that we were all, accumulated all of this, these holidays or these emotions. And this year's all about trying to tackle that as quickly as possible. So I'm looking forward to it. And also hearing from you guys in the chat, let us know what you're looking forward to creatively or in your lives, whatever you want to talk about. Rufus, what's more on your end on the agenda?
Of course, we are in the community team, and my team specifically is called the Creative Cloud Evangelism team. Mm-hmm. So we're evangelizing Adobe, like talking about Adobe, talking about products and things like that. But one thing that I really want to focus on this year, just like last year, really, is to focus on helping the creative community come together, strive, give them all the information necessary to continue being creative. So this is definitely a year where I'll try to take advantage of my position here in the company to continue to push and to help the community out there. And that, of course, is in the UK, in France, in Germany, and worldwide. With me, throughout my team, and of course, with the support of Adobe Live.
Definitely. And we thought about this a lot more, kind of wrapping from last year and seeing how we can take it into this year and, what works for the community and all of you guys at home and the feedback you gave us. And I think ways of connecting has been a big topic, and how we can keep this going, right? Because there is a sense of up and down and the same routine every day, but we really want to make sure it's fresh and you're still inspired from, everything we're creating here or beyond Adobe Live as well. There's so much going on, and I'm excited for this year. So any goals from the chat, any highlights sharing before we go into the schedule?
Well, I was just having a little look, and I can't see a lot of goals, except Stuart has put in a picture of a surf. So maybe that is Stuart looking to surf this year. It might be a bit cold in the UK, man.
Or it might just be, I had this noted, riding the wave. So
I think it's possible with a wetsuit. So I like Caroline's note that we just want more of the same, please. You were definitely a highlight of 2020. So thank you, Caroline.
That's so good to hear. Thank you, Caroline. Thanks, Stuart, for sharing as well. The surfing one, that's an interesting, riding the wave, going along. I think we can't really predict much. So I think the metaphor of it is also working. But let's talk a bit about this year. We are back, and we're still going to be here on your lunch break from 12 to 1 UK time. And we still have German and French streams, as we said. And we had a bit of chat around themes that we want to touch on, days of the week that we, want to be here for you guys as well, and making sure that the streams are top notch and give you all the inspiration you're looking for. So we thought a bit around themes, and our Mondays will now be inspiration streams. And it'll be more of what you saw last year, Caroline, especially since you're saying. So, having Hazel, for example, and Rachel doing some fresco illustrations. Of course, Joe coming back as well on some video streams and photo. So quite a big Monday, schedule coming up, and making sure that you kick off the week with general inspiration, some challenges as well. We love getting your guys involved and getting some interactivity in that, which is what Rufus said, with hearing from you and seeing your work. So that will be the theme. Anything else on the Monday sessions? I think we'll see a lot of you, Maddy, on these ones.
Yes, and I can't wait, because this is the type of thing that I love. I love interviewing our creatives and really getting into their process about how they get things done, because all of us, well, I can't speak for everybody, but I know that a lot of us are self-taught with some of these apps. And so there are always quicker way to do things, quicker ways, right? So I picked up so many tips from Joe over last year in Premiere Pro. As I said, always in video. So he's taught me a lot. And so I can't wait to share more of this stuff. So can't wait for Mondays. Very excited.
And we'll kick off the week with you. So that'll be great. Rufus, was there anything else on that?
I think it's great to continue also to do these Monday shows a little bit like we did last year, showcasing creatives from the UK and beyond in English language, but in UK times. I think this whole thing about showcasing creativity and inviting new guests and showing the process people have. I started graphic design in 1990, so it was a long time ago, and back then it was very, very difficult to get feedback, to understand what people were thinking about your work, or even to showcase your work. I had to go from agency to agency with my portfolio bag, and leave it there. All of this has changed so much. And I think, the opportunity with Adobe Live is also to showcase the fact that, in the end, we're not all so different. We all struggle the same struggle. We all go through the same, delusions as creatives, do they like my work? Do they not like my work? And when we can actually hear people talk about their experiences, I think it makes everybody feel more comfortable about their own path and their own career. And I've seen a post here of somebody trying to get a graphic design job this year. So I'm just looking. Oh yeah, there, Carrie Latimer. So Carrie, I wish you the best of luck and the best of energy to get that graphic design job this year. I think communication and design and illustration and filmmaking, all of these things that help communicate ideas and things like that, they have such an opportunity in the years we're living like never before. And I think there's going to be opportunities left, right, front, and center in the years coming. So good luck, Carrie Latimer, and to all of you who actually trying to get into that business, because it is a business in the end. It makes we all want to make a living out of it. So it is a business, but it is a creative business, and I think it's the best business in the world.
What a way to start. Yeah, no pressure, Maddy, but this is what we're going to be living up to for the rest of the year. But definitely, and I think so much comes out of this in terms of making sure everyone is confident, and this is what Adobe Live has seen last year as well, is building this confidence to either make a step in your career or get started with a new app or test and learn. And I think those Monday sessions are a huge testing phase as well. So like Maddy was saying, you were inspired to maybe use Rush or, experiment a little bit with our apps or creativity in general. So I'm really excited for that.
Well, Carrie's got a question here. Anyone know somewhere to get good feedback on the work? Thanks, Rufus. But Carrie, of course, the best way to get feedback is actually social media right now. And of course, also Behance is a great platform to not only showcase your work, but also to ask for feedback and constructive criticism about your work. So I would definitely start there. And also remember that many companies and many people who are looking for creative talent are actually using Behance to find that creative talent. I mean, hell, myself, I've been using Behance a lot to find new artists, to find new people for Adobe Live as guests. So it's definitely a place to showcase your work and also to use as your online portfolio. Definitely Behance and all of the other social media. I think Instagram is also very powerful when it comes to imagery, and that can be graphic design, illustration, photography, video for that matter, and build some following there, because I know people are watching Instagram a lot also to find new talents. So that's definitely another place that I would try.
Yeah, that's good. And I noticed some creatives as well post templates and things in Behance so that you can try. So if, for example, I think it was XD artboards that I first got into, I found an artist on Behance that said, I've made this template, just open it, play with it, give me feedback, get into it. And that's one of the ways that I actually learned XD, was from another creative's template, just playing around and seeing something that was already ready made. So definitely Behance for sure. And it's so great to continue the chat in Discord as well. Because it's always good having a good chat in there. We have a good giggle in there as well. So, yeah, definitely continue that for sure.
Nice. Love that. Yeah, I think connecting is going to be a big one. And I always have also people messaging on Instagram and saying they've seen the stream or getting in touch about some ideas. And I think we've also been really able to connect people together and without us being involved, which is amazing to see. So sometimes you guys as hosts as well are learning from each other, and Tony will step in and have a chat with one of our guests or someone from the community. And I think that's just really nice to see. So yeah, right place, right time as well sometimes. So, you know, putting yourself out there and trying it out. So that's our Mondays, and I think you guys are looking forward to some inspiration to kind of like kickstart the week and get started. But we also will have masterclasses this year and real dedicated slots to step up your skills, level up. We're joking right before the stream with Tim saying elevation. So inspiration, elevation. I really love that. Exactly. So if you're really stuck in Illustrator, for example, I can see it on our schedule here, and have kind of, yeah, you know, your basic skills figured out. You've opened the app before, but you really want to learn some little tips and tricks, but also ask some questions and get some feedback in the live chat as usual. We'll have Tony on these sessions, and of course Maddy and other hosts stepping in at times, but you'll really see this 90 minutes, so an extra half hour for you guys, where we'll talk about some specific apps and projects.
These are very important, because this is something that, you know, we haven't done so much last year. Well, we've done some product, I hate calling them products. They're tools, creative tools. To express yourselves, and I think, you know, one way to learn, and you know, we've talked about that before. And Maddy, you mentioned many of us are self-taught, and yes, I think the way people are learning software now or create these creative tools is really jumping on YouTube, finding a specific thing about that, or you know, the help pages on adobe.com, you know, just to get into the applications. I wonder if there are still some very specific courses in schools about software, or if the students come to school more prepared than their teachers. I can imagine that, because you know they've been using the software maybe even, you know, harder than their teachers right now. So I can see it also with my son, for example. He learned Premiere by himself, and when he goes to class, it's just boring for him. So it's kind of a weird situation. But yeah, so these masterclasses on Wednesdays are really geared towards getting a little bit of in-depth knowledge and training in these creative tools. And I think the goal here as well is like to do an app per month, right? So basically it's correct me if I'm wrong, Emma, but I think, and I don't know, maybe you can also touch on what we're starting with on Wednesday, basically it's going to be these master classes that are really going to take you from from the basics to a little bit more advanced techniques in these creative apps.
Definitely. And I'll jump in as well, because we have some questions in the chat and some panicked questions. And I was just opening it right now, which is why I was looking away a little bit. But we have Jackie. Jackie, welcome back. Nice to see you again. Who said, I missed the beginning. Will there be sessions Monday, Wednesday, Friday? So that's it, as you saw in the schedule. That will be our 3-day little kind of plan for the year. And leaving a little bit of space on those Tuesdays and Thursdays for all of us and all of you to catch up on that content, and maybe prepare a little bit of homework as well for all the streams that are coming up. We'll ask you to be a lot more involved, so that'll be great to see. And we do start with Tony and Sophia on this Wednesday on Illustrator. And I know Tony already gave homework to Sophia herself, so I'm really excited to see what sketch she'll pull up on that. And the great thing to see, and we talked about this a little bit already, which is, you know, Sophia was really interested in testing out Illustrator, and she's just had this keen eye for it. And, you know, it's been kind of sitting there. She told me about her experience trying to open it and close it after 5 minutes because she's just freaking out. So I think that will be a great session to kind of also have us there as, you know, learners, and we all are learning from each other, and that might be a nice way for the community as well to see that process. So we will be there, an hour and a half of masterclass, and they will be themed around all our tools, great word, throughout the next months. And then we have Fridays. So Fridays will be a really new kind of topic and theme for all of us. And really going back to what Carrie asked. So, you know, I need help with some career questions. I have my work, I just don't know how to put it out there, or I don't know how to, you know, sell myself or talk to an accountant. I know, Rufus, you highlighted this many times. But, you know, kind of just your career tips and going out of the in-app technical field to really give you support in your career and discipline. If you want to start as a freelancer or you want to go agency side, then we'll give you a little bit of business coaching on that as well.
It's so good to put them in one day, because I don't know about you and everybody in the chat, right, that every time that we have a session on Adobe Live, our creatives would give some really amazing tips. And if you weren't there on that stream, you'd miss it. And it was so good. Things like Veronica would say, you know, only put the work you enjoy doing so that you get to do the work that you enjoy doing on your portfolio, right? Really great tips. And then we had other great tips as well from Rachel. And there's so many things. If you watch every stream, you're going to get all of it. But now that we're putting it all on Fridays for the career, you know, tips and things, there's so much there that can be covered, you know. And that portfolio session stayed with me. It's really kind of, I made notes and they're literally here, like honestly on my desk. Seriously. So, yeah, I'm glad that they're on Fridays, because it's really clear as to when you can get that info.
Yeah, and we have Laura, for example, already asking in the chat, more notes. Am I the only one who's not a note taker? I just hope it's all living somewhere there. But Laura in the chat is already saying, do you think companies are looking into the academic degree a designer has, or are the skills and good portfolio enough? So perfect questions to bring on to a Friday session. You know, get some of your questions answered by some creatives who have, you know, made it or somewhere you're interested in. And we'll talk a little bit more about, you know, your background experience.
Something that I, you know, that Emma and I have been talking about is these Friday sessions for me are really around, you know, the things they haven't taught you at school. For example, when I got out of school, you know, I had no idea about how to build a business, how to talk to a printer, for example, or how to set up my business, how to promote myself. You know, it was completely different times, but I think many things we don't learn at school. And to the question about, you know, whether, you know, people are looking for degrees or things like that, I think increasingly it really comes down to the quality and the consistency of your work. And you know, if you can prove to somebody that you can find solutions or ideas very quickly to any given problem at any given time, you know, that's what will get your foot inside the door. I don't think that, you know, the degrees and things like that are necessarily important. Like, for example, I graduated from the Art Center College of Design, and you know, with full honors and blah blah blah. But guess what? I never ever had to show this piece of paper to anyone. Nobody asked me for it, and I don't even have it. I don't think. I would have to probably, you know, email the school and say, hey, can I have my degree or something, because it all comes down to what you're able to do, and I repeat myself, the consistency with which you're able to do it.
And I really like seeing what's happening in the chat already. So Laura, you went out, asked a question. Sean just said that you have great photography, and you're already starting to talk about this. So yeah, great way to, you know, put yourself out there, ask the question, and everyone else is kind of connecting with you as well. So follow each other, keep the conversation going after this, and come back on Friday because we want to answer more of your questions. And actually this Friday, if we have the schedule one more time, Tim's kind of putting it up and down, but we will have Natalie, lovely Natalie, coming back, who's you know, a host last year as well, has huge experience from off, and we'll be talking to Paloma, who has done multiple projects around mental health, but also setting up a studio at home. So one of these key questions with, you know, how do you deal with the current situation and keep inspiration going and make sure you can still create work or, you know, get a job or start your business in times that are uncertain. So that'll be a really good session to start also setting goals for the year and seeing how we're going to handle the next months and beyond. So goal setting and making sure you're accountable for that. So Laura, how are you going to start? What's on your agenda for this year? And yeah, what's your vision? We'll love to hear that.
And maybe one thing that I can add is I used to teach graphic design to beginning, intermediate, and advanced levels at a school here. And I used to infuriate my students because I wouldn't let them touch the computer for the first half of the term. So they would have to sketch, they would have to draw, they would have to express their ideas in other ways than just using the computer. And they hated me for that. But now, you know, many of them come back to me and say, you know, that training actually was very, very helpful. So don't forget to get off the screen sometimes, get on paper and do your sketches and put your ideas down. You know, always have your little Moleskine or whatever with you and sketch out your ideas, because then the process will be so much quicker when you move to the creative tools and actually, you know, give them life.
That's such a good tip, isn't it? I love a good book. You can't beat a good book, can you? And a pencil or a pen, just perfect.
And actually on books and resources, we're talking about book as note-taking, but also we'll have Sophia doing some sessions on Fridays. Lovely Sophia coming back to talk a bit about resources. So creative block, you know, how, if you feel stuck and you're in that rut, then how do you kickstart your creativity again, and some little exercises and tips. So I think those sessions will be a lot more hands-on with finding approaches and getting a bit of a nudge for wherever you're stuck, and sharing between you guys. So looking forward to that. We have Paul joining in the chat, so still some new people and new faces, which I really love to see. Still following through everyone. More After Effects on live, please. Thanks, Gareth, for sharing. Yeah, some questions around After Effects. So video will be a big focus for us as well this year, and we'd love to hear your feedback on things that you were stuck on last year. So plenty more of Joe. And Maddy, I know you're going to get stuck into Rush, so that will be one of your targets this year.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm in Rush every day. So I'm looking forward to that, actually. Give me some tips and some workarounds and how I use it, for sure. And you guys, honestly, I just looked at the chat and I think Gareth is just hilarious, always creases me up. And I can't promise that I won't end up crying laughing on another stream this year, because you guys just get me completely. It's just hilarious. But yes, I'm looking forward to Rush, and I'm looking forward to more funny chat from you all as well.
I love this. Oh, I just love this atmosphere in the chat, and it's so alive. And we have a really interesting question from Stuart around brochure design, layout, and InDesign. So we will be touching on InDesign, and I know we have a little bit something for you guys as well today coming up to make sure you're accountable this year and can download a little bit of something that Rufus prepared, and will get us started for the year. Anything else on the schedule? Everyone at home, let us know what you want to know about, and if this is all clear for you. I'll give a little mention to the French and German streams as well, because they will still be running, but we have a slight time change for German streams. I know some of you might have been there this morning, waiting around. Our German streams will now be at 4 p.m. So some of you are sometimes watching in other languages, which is great to see, great practice, but also I know multilingual audience nowadays. So yeah, come along at 4 p.m. Oh, we have it here. Tim will be kicking off today for the first stream of this year, being really special. And on a Wednesday, we'll have Julia, who's doing a masterclass on actually Photoshop. There's been a little bit of an update on that one. She just told me before this. And she did a lot of the book club last year, so designing book covers, and she'll be talking about 2021 as a book, which I think is a really nice touch to creating something new. And then on Friday, we have the same theme, so career tips, setting goals. Melanie and Tanya will be there to get you started creatively into the year, and having a bit of a plan. Anything else on that? I think that's us. Yeah, Maddy.
Well, I would say that I know that we haven't put it in the schedule to see here for everybody, but we definitely will have some more fun on potential game shows, right, with Tony that we do, as that is always so much fun. So you'll all have to join us for those.
To be perfectly honest, Tim came back to me when I showed the schedule, and he was like, "Where are the game shows, Emma?" You messed up. This should be the first priority, game shows. And actually, for anyone sitting at home, you have no idea how much work goes into preparing these game shows from Tim's side. Yeah. So that's also the worth mentioning. So yeah, there will be plenty of fun, of course. And I think we've had a fun year, so we'll keep that going.
Definitely.
Oh, Rufus, we can't hear you. Is that just me?
It's not just you, it's me not present.
Okay.
No, I was saying that one thing we're definitely discussing as well are the creative challenges and things like that. And we'll be seeing, like if that can be somehow tied in. But yeah, good call, Maddy. The games must go on. Yeah.
I love that.
Yes, and it's even between Tony and I right now. So I'm definitely wanting to get into the lead this year, and I promise not to burn anybody's screen with any more bright saturation colors this year.
Yeah, you're funny, Oliver. It's been so long, Rufus has forgotten how to use Zoom. Yeah.
There you go. And we had a bit of a last minute change when we were launching the stream, so we're all rusty. Give us a break. We're just slowly starting. We have Paul who's saying, "I'm usually a regular watching Adobe Live, but have been busy. But I have been using pencil and paper. Nothing to be published yet, but I will try this year." Great to hear, and that you're here live as well. You're being teased by Tony on your Starbucks mug. Maddy, of course, and Sandrine, who's going to try and watch the French stream just once. So yeah, please do. And yeah, you speak French. Come along, say hi. Pauline will be there this afternoon on the Monday sessions. With Frank as well, actually launching the year. So all your favorites, some new faces. Jack, hi Jack. Angus is here, and Oliver, of course. I need to learn a lot more French before I can join the French stream. I wish we had subtitles for you guys, and we could add that on so you can watch along.
But you see, I'm already doing these little game shows. Like people are trying to guess what's different with Rufus.
Ooh.
Yeah. The beard is gone. Next step to get my COVID hair away. Yeah.
Shaved. That's the goal. And you still have a Christmas tree there, a bit of remnants from the break.
The lights. Yeah.
I love that Tony's put in the chat, Monch too, Marlene, Monch too. Funny fools and horses. Amazing.
More chat, really active on there. Keep on chatting to us, letting us know what you're looking forward to. So should we move along to one last gift surprise we had for today's stream, Rufus? We really thought about how we wanted to look back on last year and kickstart the year, and we actually wanted to do this right before the holiday time, but didn't get around to it. There was a lot going on with the festive challenge, so we saved it for today, and we'll be talking about it also in France and Germany. So if you want to see Frank, Pauline, and Tim talk about it, they'll be there later. France is at 2 p.m. French time, by the way, so just to remind everyone the timings. So, Rufus, what did we do? What were you busy doing during the break?
We did something so creative. We did a calendar, but I think that was a good way to pull together all of the various creative talents from the hosts of Adobe Live, and also to a little reminder of how each one of us is creative in different ways. And so yes, I've created a calendar for 2021. Is it right? Yeah. 2021. You can actually find the link here on Behance in the description of the stream, and also on YouTube in the description of the stream on YouTube. There's a link. It's a Rufus link. It's a rufus.li/AL2021 calendar, and basically you'll find a PDF there. And Tim is already showing it, so maybe we can scroll through it, because we not only put the hosts from across the Germany, France, and UK. We also put the winners of the Christmas challenge, right? That was the name, the Christmas challenge. No,
festive
the holiday challenge.
Festive.
The festive. Yes. So we have the 3 winners of the festive challenges from across the regions in there as well.
Yeah.
And it's I really had a lot of fun doing this, because it really showcases how each one of us is really different, but each one of us has a different approach to creativity, or like some are photography, some are illustration, some are graphic design, some are 3D. So it was a good way to end 2020 and have something that we can all print out. I did it in the A4 format, so you can just print it out and have it lying there. And maybe you can also put in that on Mondays you have the stream, on Wednesdays and on Fridays now. So maybe just as a reminder of the times. I didn't want to put them in the calendar, because that would have been, like forcing ourselves into people's lives, and we don't want to do that.
And there's already some love for Oliver, and everyone spotted his photo from the festive challenge in there. Really nice to see. We kickstarted, I think, in January with Melanie's work. There was Julian there, Alex as well, from the French team. So everyone contributed to this and was included. And yeah, keep on sending us your work, whether that's on Discord or sharing here your Behance portfolio. We always take a look, and want to include you in initiatives and any ideas you might have for this year as well. Nice, from Robert as well, from the German stream. Tanya.
It's so good. And I didn't realize that was Oliver's photo until I saw Oliver post the same photo on Instagram. And then I saw the calendar and I was like, oh my goodness, that's Oliver's photo. So congratulations, Oliver. It's so good to see it in there.
Well, we just had over 50 clicks on that link. So I'm guessing people like it.
And we have the type police, Maddy, before you even got there in the chat. Someone was mentioning the font.
Do you know what? I do have a typography violations book, which I need to issue every time I see Comic Sans. For sure, yes. So, yeah, I couldn't see Comic Sans in there.
I think Tim must have put a note somewhere. There you go. First stream. Zooming in into the crime.
Very good.
No typography judging around here.
Yeah.
Actually, on typography, we will have a typography masterclass next week. That's what it's reminding me of. Raisa will be coming back. I'm giving some snippets into what's coming up But Raisa will be coming back with Tony for a typography session on the full 90 minutes next Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. Want to see a lot more of, typography, other disciplines that we missed out on last year on the stream. Great. So go and download the calendar, fill it in, make sure you're reminded of the streams. We'll keep on putting up the schedule as well every Monday. So come along and see what we start the week with and what guests we'll see. And as a reminder as well for Fridays, if you want to see anyone, we'll also talk about, setting up your YouTube channel, getting a podcast started, and other bits of creativity that you might want to look into.
Definitely. And I think that what's good about being 3 days is that we've got more time to sit and really digest an activity and have a play with it before the next stream. So we can have a little bit more kind of play time to kind of tidy things up and try new ways. So I'm looking forward to that, definitely. And obviously our first stream is Illustrator, right, on Wednesday. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So what's the first thing you're going to do with Illustrator?
Do you know what? I want to make a person.
Oh,
basic shapes. I actually just want to do it. I just want to put together a person to see whether it's easier for me to work in fresco and draw a cartoon character. So I've got some big plans this year. I'm too scared to share everything, but I'm trying to work out whether it's easier to do in fresco and just draw, because I find it easier drawing people, or making a character in Illustrator with shapes and making it more, I don't know, like how you see it on TV, right? Some of the, so we'll see. I'll let you know how I get on. I'll post my progress on.
All right. Okay.
What do you think, though, Rufus? Do you think it's easier in Instagram, or do you think it's easier drawing in fresco?
Sorry, I lost you with that question.
Oh,
like you said, Instagram instead of Illustrator. That's why. Yeah. I'm like the middleman who's translating between you two. I'm catching and filling in the pieces.
My brain is still warming up this year. I think starting 2021, homeschooling, creative challenges, it's all going, everybody. It's all happening. No, Rufus, my question to you was, what do you think is easier, drawing cartoon characters or people in fresco or making them in Illustrator?
Well, it depends what type of character you're designing, really, because if you're designing with basic shapes and things like that, maybe it's in Illustrator because you just put them together like circles and squares and things like that. Fresco is more organic, more freehand, like a sketch pad, albeit a vector sketch pad if you want it to be, different, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing, right, about all these tools is that, there's a tool for everything. So whether you want something to be organic or mechanical or, whatever, there's always the right tool to start with. And
And Sandrine is also giving tips in the chat saying, I'd go with basic shapes first because it can be easily replicated as hand-drawn in fresco later, once you got the right proportions. If proportions are important to you, because I would just go straight to fresco and start making. I feel it's just more forgiving in terms of just sketching. Testing, and I'm just enjoying that a lot more.
Or Maddy, of course, Illustrator on the iPad,
I know. Well, that's where I'm going. So that's where I'm starting, I should say. It is. And again, please share tips with me. You're all creatives, it's a big community. So share tips with me as I go. I'll be posting bits and bobs. So it'd be great to hear from you.
And Caroline is getting an iPad and pencil for her birthday. So it'll be her first time drawing in that way. So love that. Basing adjustments with Lightroom, photography. We're hearing a little bit across all these tools, which is nice to see. And of course, something that we haven't mentioned last year that much is Spark and ways to use it and integrate it into your social media planning, which might be a little bit more of a Friday session now. Getting around, building a following or network through Instagram or other social tools. Having some insight into that. Joe, for example, has a great YouTube channel, so it might be nice to hear from him on how he got that started. Even with the struggle of traveling these days, I'm sure he's shooting a lot at home, so I'll nudge him on that.
there's so much you can do in Adobe Spark, you know. Like I was using it last week, and because you can add animations to whatever you create, whether you just got a word on screen, you can almost turn it into a motion graphic to open a video with, which is how I used it this week, in a new way. Because I just thought, oh, do I go into After Effects and do something new there, or should I just do it in Spark? And I did it in Spark. So yeah, lots of new things to share, you know. Exciting.
Yep. Everyone in the chat starting to look at Spark. Jackie says that as well.
Gareth is not impressed.
No, Gareth is. I think Gareth has something with you, Maddy, that's personal because you're getting picked on constantly. But Sandrine was saying animated text is so easy in Spark. I do that all the time on my phone. Yes, so mobile devices as well will be a little bit less on a desktop, and testing out Illustrator on iPad or on your phone as well. Fresco is also on mobile now, so great to have a look at. Gareth says not at all.
Stuart is asking, are they teaching Spark in schools now? Yes, more and more. Actually, you know, we have a whole team at Adobe that, you know, that talks with schools, that creates content for education. And Spark is definitely a very central part of that, because it's a very easy way for students of all ages to create content and to tell their stories in ways that are maybe a little bit more engaging than than just making a PowerPoint slide, you know.
Yeah, I can confirm that in Wales they're all using Spark. It's now in the national curriculum over here in Wales. So that's really good that Wales are leading the way with Spark in the UK.
Everyone's getting excited about Spark. Something we didn't mention as well is stock. So we also will get a little bit more creative with how to use stock imagery and footage and audio, of course, into your workflow. So great ways to also blend in different apps. And I think we can get a little bit creative. Obviously, Photoshop and Lightroom have been a natural match, but there are so many ways you can work across the board with all these tools and to make them work together. So really nice to see.
Yeah, and that brings us back to our motto, which is, which has been for some time now at Adobe, is creativity for all. So, you know, whether you're a graphic designer or not, we want everybody to be enabled to be creative and to create things that are visually appealing and engaging.
Yeah, and I have a transition for that as well, actually, because I wanted to give a shout out to the Community Fund. And we talked a little bit about that last year, but that will keep going this year. And we're still looking for some of you to apply, all of you to apply. If you're stuck on a project and need some funding, have a look at the Community Fund, Creative Fund, and how they can support you. So there's a lot going on also within Adobe to give you some support in your projects and wherever you are at now. So if you didn't know about it,
Tim just put the link of the Creative Residence Community Fund in the chat. So yeah, definitely something to look out for, because the things we've seen last year of how this fund has been used by creatives from all over the world was really amazing. And no, some of these recipients have also become guests on Adobe Live, right?
Absolutely, and we'll see more of them this year, actually. I've already taken a look at everyone who's applied and really want to hear from them. So we'll have some guests coming through in Germany. I already have someone I'm speaking to who will be talking about representation in photography, for example, and diversity as a big topic. So really excited for that session. And of course, in the UK, we'll get a fair share of all these stories as well.
And Sean is asking, can you apply once or just once a year?
Very good question. My understanding is once a year, but I can also follow up on that.
That must be on the website. Yes. Find the answer there, or let me Google that.
Give me a hot second, It should all be in there, and information on how to apply and what information you need to provide on the website. All right. Tim's adding on a little bit onto that. All right, great. So we're excited, ready to go. I missed everyone. I'm happy for this new week and new year to start, and seeing plenty of you starting later in the streams in French and German, and of course Wednesday with a masterclass, our first masterclass of the year.
Yeah. And I think the link to the Discord, somebody asked for that, is right here in the description of the stream here on behance.net. Or on, oh, there we go. Tim just posted it. Okay, thank you, Tim. You're our savior.
There's so much to be excited about this year. You know, we're in a new year, and it's really easy to kind of roll in from last year into this year, right? With the same kind of, you know, we're in lockdown here in the UK at the moment. There's still a lot of, you know, things happening here, which is still feeling like it's last year. But I've definitely got a more positive outlook on what I can learn this year and kind of new skills I can pick up. And I'm really hoping to share that with you all through Adobe Live, you know, and learn with you and together with you. So I feel really glad to be back and really good to see you all in the chat and the fun that we have. So I'm really grateful for sure.
But I can't wait to be back on the road and see each one of you in person.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We actually had
that, don't we?
Eventually it'll happen.
Yes.
It will. And I think that thought keeps us going, you know, it gives us a little bit of energy to know that we'll all be together at some point, hopefully this year. And actually, Paul in the chat was saying that he met you in person, Rufus. So we still have memories of that. There was a time where we're all together. So,
yeah. Can you imagine? I've never met Emma in person.
We haven't actually, that's correct.
No way.
But then we know each other so well. So close yet so far. And Maddy either, really. So that will happen at some point.
I've met you in person, Rufus. We've met a few times.
Yeah.
But yes, lots to look forward to.
Wonderful. Oh, we're back on the calendar. So download it one more time. This is your chance. We'll share on Discord and everywhere else for you to have access to that. But yeah, that was our session to get started.
Yeah. Can't wait for the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday sessions. I think this is a great program that you guys have been working on, and I think it makes a whole bunch of sense. And yeah, super interesting creative year 2021.
Well, definitely. Well, make sure you make a cuppa and come here back on Wednesday for a 90-minute masterclass with Tony and Sophia on Wednesday. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Sending hugs. Bye.
Bye.